The night was so quiet it felt like the world itself had stopped breathing. Snow drifted down in slow, heavy flakes, blurring the streetlights into soft halos of gold. That was when he said it, his voice low, steady, carrying a promise he wasn't sure he could keep anymore. "Come with me," the ex-Navy SEAL said, standing in the cold, after finding the widow and her kids alone on Christmas night. "If this story touches your heart even a little, stay with me until the end, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this deserve to be shared." Jack Turner hadn't planned on stopping that night. He rarely planned anything anymore. Since leaving the Navy, since the missions ended and the noise in his head didn't, he survived on routine, late walks, empty streets, and silence. Christmas was the hardest. It reminded him of everything he'd lost, brothers who never came home, a life that no longer fit him, and the man he used to be. As he walked past a small house at the edge of the neighborhood, he noticed the front door slightly open and the lights flickering. A child's quiet crying cut through the stillness, and Jack's instincts, trained by years of combat, pulled him forward before his mind could argue. Inside, the house was barely warm. A woman sat on the floor near a small, undecorated tree, holding a thin blanket around two children. Her eyes widened in fear when she saw him, but exhaustion softened her reaction. Jack raised his hand slowly, showing he wasn't a threat. He noticed the empty shelves, the single candle, and the way the kids clung to her like she was the only solid thing left in the world. Her name was Sarah. Her husband, Daniel, had died a year earlier, also military. Since then, life had unraveled in quiet, humiliating ways, bills piling up, the heater breaking, family drifting away. Pride kept her from asking for help, and by Christmas night, she had nothing left to give her children but apologies. Jack listened. He always listened. It was easier than talking. As Sarah spoke, something inside him shifted. He had been trained to rescue hostages, secure perimeters, and extract people from impossible situations. But no one had taught him how to save a broken family or himself. He took off his jacket and wrapped it around the kids. Then he noticed the photograph on the wall, Daniel in uniform, smiling. Jack swallowed hard. He'd known Daniel. Not well, but enough. Enough to feel the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. He stepped outside to make a call, hands shaking slightly in the cold. Old contacts answered. Favors were called in. By the time Jack returned, Sarah was crying silently, thinking he'd left. Instead, he knelt in front of her and said the words that changed everything, "Come with me." He explained there was a safe place, warm food, and people who cared. She hesitated. Trust didn't come easily anymore. But when her youngest son looked up at Jack and asked if Santa was still coming, something broke open in her chest. She nodded. They drove through the snow to a small veterans community center Jack volunteered at, though he rarely stayed long. That night, it was alive with warmth. Other veterans and families welcomed them without questions. Someone cooked. Someone found toys. Someone sang. Sarah watched in disbelief as her children laughed for the first time in weeks. Jack stood near the door, uncomfortable with gratitude, unsure where he belonged. When Sarah thanked him, really thanked him, he didn't know what to say. He wasn't a hero. He was just a man who couldn't walk away. Over the next weeks, Jack kept showing up. He helped Sarah fix the house, found resources, and taught the kids how to build snow forts and make hot chocolate just right. In helping them, he found purpose again. The nightmares didn't vanish, but they softened. Sarah, in turn, reminded Jack that strength wasn't just about surviving, it was about letting others in. Slowly, trust grew. Not romantic at first, just human. Two people healing side by side. Challenges came, as they always do. Paperwork delays. Doubt. Jack's fear that he didn't deserve peace. Sarah's fear of losing everything again. But together, they faced each one. The kids started school with smiles. Sarah found work. Jack began mentoring other veterans, telling them it was okay to feel lost. That Christmas night became the anchor they all returned to, the moment everything could have stayed broken, but didn't. A year later, snow fell again, just as quietly. The house was warm now, filled with laughter and light. Jack watched Sarah and the kids decorate the tree, a simple but beautiful one. He realized that sometimes the bravest thing you can do isn't going to war, it's choosing to stay, to care, and to hope. If this story inspired you, reminded you of the power of kindness, or made you believe in second chances, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach the people who need them most. Because sometimes, all it takes to change a life is one person willing to say, "Come with me."